Guess who's got a stack of Conbooks and a hankering to ramble? This guy. Yeah, so I got all these Conbooks out the other day to talk about some design stuff with the Mare Fair team. And I've been watching a lot of Scott the Woz stuff too, specifically the Scott Stash stuff, where he just puts stuff down on a table with the carpet on it for some reason and talks about it and rambles on for a while. And I thought that kind of sounded like fun. I've been enjoying watching him, just hearing rambling thoughts, and I kind of wanted to give some rambling thoughts of my own on something. And right now, Conbooks are pretty heavy on my mind, so let's talk about them. So not really going in any particular order, but I did want to start with the Mare Fair Conbook. And sorry if I'm hitting the table. Scott's setup is probably a bit better than mine. His chair doesn't squeak, and his camera and microphone aren't attached to the table. So bear with me. Hopefully it's nothing too distracting. But yeah, just wanted to start with the Mare Fair 2023 Conbook. So this, full disclosure, this was a Conbook that I helped work on. I was the publications lead for Mare Fair in 2023. I can probably talk about this one the most because I have direct experience putting this one together. And then, yeah, I have some other thoughts about the other ones. But there's some pretty bad things about this Conbook. This being the most unforgivable. So the story behind this Conbook is we looked at the cost of everything and we were kind of penny pinching because we weren't even sure we could make this happen. Being a first year convention and everything, they don't have the best track record. So we thought that we'd go as cheap as possible and decided that we wouldn't print the Conbook because that was about $2,000 that would have, that we didn't really have. And because we wanted to do the full page size, the 8.5 by 11. I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, it actually doesn't even matter here because what happened with these? So our Conbook was all digital. You just went on the website and there was a PDF file that you could download, and it would have the Conbook in it. But we did put together the Conbook as if we were going to print it, and we did a limited run of these at I think it was a UPS store that was just around the corner from the venue. So yeah, like you'll notice this white border around it. That's not great. It's around every page too. And the most embarrassing part of it is this, but that's actually not the printer's fault. These empty pages on this side. So I was trying to think really hard about it. I went through and I noticed that the page numbers weren't even. So I had him correct I had him correct it so that we wouldn't end up with a blank page. But I did not think that about how it needs to be a multiple of 4. The pages in a Conbook need to be a multiple of 4 and able to work. Because, they're made of these sheets of paper. If you want to add another page, well, you add another sheet, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah, so you have to add 4 things to it, and I mean, each page amps up the price a lot. That's another topic. But yeah, anyway, that was totally my mistake, and this will haunt me forever. So yeah, a couple things about this Conbook. The cover is really nice. This was one of the first really official art assets that was made. I came onto the team pretty late in the game. It was like right around the time they found a venue. They had been talking about it and trying to get things working for about a year at that point. They had just gotten the venue and that worked out. So I came in. I said, we need a good cover. We need a good Conbook cover. And I can't remember if I asked for the Anon or someone else suggested it. Or he volunteered. But yeah, we got him to do this and it's absolutely gorgeous. This was pretty darn early in the game. So when we needed a full page ad for the BabsCon Conbook, and we had this full page illustration for this, well, it kind of just, yeah. Oh man, looking at this, the print quality is just so much better in this actual conbook than this thing. It's pretty simple once you look at it. There's some backgrounds that we had Anon the Anon prepare to kind of match the cover. Basically just this kind of red picture and these small boxes that we could fit into things. He helped with the map, and then the person that did the conbook helped label it. And yeah, just kind of pasting things in, evening it out. We weren't too concerned with polish in the conbook because of just, you know, we weren't going to have it printed, so, you know, what's the point of worrying about it too much? There are some things. The conbook editor took some liberties at some points. Some of them for the better, like adding these little drawings, or like that one too, or this whole map was their doing, but on the code of conduct, they had like added things into it. Like, that's kind of weird. Shouldn't do that. Yeah, if you're ever putting a conbook together for someone, don't like change the don't change the code of conduct. Don't change like the legal agreement, whatever. I don't know. Oh man, the thank you page. This was it was really weird putting this together because we were trying to find the balance between like, everyone wants to stay anonymous, but people aren't going to be happy if they're not thanked. Yeah, eventually we leaned towards just thanking as many people as we could. I'm not on here because no one said they wanted to thank me, and I felt it felt weird adding myself to the thank you page. So I'm not on there. There are a couple other people that didn't end up on there for one reason or another. But yeah, just a fun fact about that. But yeah, let's go from the Mare Fair conbook. Let's go to the BabsCon 2023 conbook. BabsCon 2023. Now, I wasn't at this convention. Kind of wish I was. But this was... BabsCon was... We were getting a lot of help from them for Mare Fair. And that's kind of what led to the full page ad that was in there. I think that was... we didn't have to pay anything for that. We just pledged to put an ad for them in our conbook in exchange. What do you think? Was it a fair trade? 1,000-something person convention? 500-person convention? I thought it was pretty darn funny. I don't know. I'm particularly fond of this one, even though I think as an ad, I mean it's a conbook cover. Or like a poster. I think it works better as a conbook poster than an ad. I think it's kind of a shame that this is the best that it got. Like, this is the best that it's looked or been used. You know, it doesn't have the website on it. Doesn't have... I guess it does have September 29th to October 1st there. But yeah, I think it... I was kind of hoping to do something different for the full page ad, but with this done, so many people got excited about it, and it was just like, oh yeah, we'll put this in there. So the cover, I am really not a fan of this cover. First of all, does it look like there's something missing? There's no title of the convention anywhere. Not even on her lanyard. There's the name of the con, or the name of the OC. Oh, there it is, on the back of the conbook, exactly where the name of the con should be. I don't know, I'm just not really a fan of this look, and it doesn't even really look like the OC, the mascot, as I remember her. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's in line with the theme. I can't even really tell what the theme is just looking at this, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it looks good. I can appreciate the wanting to kind of have that kind of style, and it looks good as a full piece. Like, unfolded. That's one thing that we didn't do, kind of, and that's something that I'll compare and contrast with these. But you know, we just had a front and a back. But a lot of these Conbooks will do a kind of a dual thing where it rolls over from one side to the other, and it's all one piece, which is pretty cool. But yeah, if you don't like this Conbook cover, at least there's a better one on the inside. I don't know if there's too much to say about, or if I have too much to say. I'm sure there's a lot to say. Oh yeah, there were some people where I heard there was a little bit of concern about a certain shape that shows up in this path over here. You know, who cares? We got some full page ads, we got some community guests, concert, schedules. I think that this is a pretty good idea to have the schedule in this kind of form factor, especially when you have so many rooms that events are going on in. That's one issue that we were coming up with ours, why we chose not to put in a schedule in this next year's, because the book is so small. Like, I mean, this is readable like this, but imagine trying to cram that into something half as big, which is why I was going to say that HarmonyCon doesn't put their schedule in their con book, but I guess they do. One thing I want to point out, I think this is one of my favorite parts of this con book, this ad for Fanny-tastical. My wife took the kids and left me for the Fanny-tastical trademark copyright reserve, or like R symbol. Yeah, again, honestly, not too much to share about this con book. Oh, there was the Mare Fair room party. I wasn't at this convention, so oh yeah, there were. There's the Owl House guest. I heard that she was pretty cool, but I think it is a little weird to be a pony convention and start bringing in guests from other shows. I don't know, maybe not. I mean, when you're desperate for whatever. The maps, I guess we can talk about the maps a little bit. Actually, you know what? Not too much to talk about. Maybe I'll come back to these. Well, let's go from BabsCon 2023 to BabsCon 2024. So BabsCon 2024, they had a Willy Wonka theme. So they've got the thing going on here. They've got the name of the con on the front. That's an upgrade. And some more details on the back. That's pretty nice. I think I like this art better than the 2023 one, but it's still, I don't know, not quite my cup of tea. So this year they went with a half size, basically, you know, sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11, folded in half, so 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm not sure why, but I do know that it basically cuts the price in half, and it's easier to carry around in a backpack or in your hands without totally destroying it. I think that the half-size Conbooks are generally pretty good way to go. It's probably what I would choose. Feels weird saying that, because I mean, like I would choose that, and I have, and I do. But yeah, got the schedule again. This time it's a little hard to read, but you can get up close to it and read it. I think, in my opinion, like, it's great to show that you have so many things going on, but like, autographs, do you really need a... I don't know if that really needs its own column. I feel like you could just put somewhere else, like autographs open from this time to this time. And that's actually something that we talked about in here. We were trying to figure out what things to put in there. Something listed somewhere for all other events and stuff. Yeah, I mean, the only other things that were going on was like vendor hall hours, which I think did they put it on here? Yeah, they have registration, Mare Gallery, vendor hall. I mean, like, it's a mixed bag, because on one hand, it is really nice to be able to see at a glance what conflicts with what and what's going on. But like, is it really worth like having to hold it up to your face and squint to read this just to have this stuff in here? I would have just put this somewhere else and said, over here, like, oh, the vendor hall hours are this to this. Actually, do we have that in here? Do we have vendor hall hours? Oh, I think we just put the vendor hall hours on the vendor hall page. I think that's how we did it. Oh, here they are. Here it is. Yeah, so here are the, underneath the map is where we put the schedules for registration, vendor hall, and Mare Gallery. Maybe, considering how long it took me to find that, maybe that wasn't a good idea. Oh man, I just noticed over here you can see the rooms we would have had this year. Ah, that's sad. This would have been really great space for a convention, but oh well. I think this year will be fine, but hopefully we'll find a better venue in the future. Nothing much else to talk about here, I think. Oh, MareQuest ad. You got another fantastical ad. Someone wearing one of her shirts down a dark hallway. The derpy bag that's been so much trouble to get produced. Oh, and the most important thing about this conbook, how could I forget? The Mare Fair ad, the full-page Mare Fair ad in the BabsCon 2024 conbook. Now, this is a funny story. You got Marcilium right there. There's one elephant in the room, so to speak, that I want to call attention to. So this was kind of a source of pointless drama in retrospect, in my opinion. But there was a lot of discussion about the balloon in using it in the ad. Some people did not want it in the BabsCon conbook. Some people from the BabsCon team because of its resemblance to stuff. So I'm proud of this being my idea. We showed them the original version, and they had problems with the balloon. So I said, make another version where it's their mascot blown up like a big blueberry, like from the Willy Wonka movie, like the blueberry inflation thing. Have her blown up like a big blueberry, and show both to them, and ask them which one they would rather have in the conbook. And it was kind of a win-win, because either way, like, either we get the balloon the way we want it, or we get this. And what do you know? They chose that. So I guess that's less embarrassing for them than putting a hot air balloon in their conbook. But I'm kind of sick of that drama anyway, so let's not talk about that. I think that this is a really good full-page ad. I honestly prefer it as an ad over the other one. As a conbook cover, I don't think it would be better. I think it might be a better conbook cover than this, maybe. It might make for a bit better conbook cover, I think. But yeah, you know, I might have bumped my camera a little bit. That sucks. All right, so we're past the conbooks that I have, or that Mare Fair has anything to do with. So let's just go in some random order here. Just picking one off the pile, here's Everfree Northwest 2023. So looking at the cover a bit, I think this is a pretty darn good cover. Nice and simple, very, very clear what convention it is. It's weird that that's even a parameter, but there's BabsCon pushing the boundaries. And it's got a nice spread. It's a little plain over here. But it does work well. Like, obviously you'd want the back to be less flashy than the front. And it's got all the mascots on there. It looks pretty good. They have an attendee feedback survey as a QR code on the bottom corner here. That's pretty smart. That's cool. And credits for the conbook on the back. I don't know. I mean, that feels a little bit self-indulgent, maybe. Like, I can understand going through all the work of putting a conbook together and wanting to, you know, have your name on it. And that might be how they do it every year. Let me check the year before. So this is Everfree Northwest 2022. Yep, they've got the credits back there, thanking a lot more people than the year before. I mean the year after. But yeah, let's dig in. This one is noticeably thin. There's not too much going on here. And yeah, the reason this is thin, or one of the reasons, they have the schedule here, but they do not have the details of each panel, which honestly is probably, I mean, I think it's a decent idea. I think it's a good way to cut down on how long your conbook is, and length of a conbook matters a lot for cost. You know, every page that you add on, that's going to be a couple $100s, if not thousands, depending on the scale. Well, probably not thousands. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, last year I only got quotes for a conbook like this, and it was like $2,000 for the 400 that we wanted to get. This year, the half-size ones that we're getting like this are going to be closer to 2,000 to 3,000, if I'm remembering right. So yeah, Everfree Northwest 2023. This is a pretty good conbook. Pretty simple. Probably could have done a little bit more flair in some of these parts. Text is a little small. It kind of feels a little crammed in at parts, but you know, they've got everything here. It works. Convention map, pretty standard. But like, you don't want to go too crazy with your convention map because, you know, you want it to be readable and not necessarily some piece of art. It's more important that it's just you know, you're able to tell where you need to be and where you want to go and stuff. And yeah, looking at the background, I guess we'll try this autograph page since there's nothing there. Looks like they've kind of done the same thing that we did with Mare Fair, except their background spans the whole page instead of just one side copy pasted. That's pretty nice. It's a nice little. It looks like their mascots in the clouds, kind of. I'm not really sure what their theme was for this year. I have a few feelings about themes for conventions. I feel like sometimes it's kind of unnecessary. Like the con theme is pushed a little too much, or just kind of gets a little annoying. It kind of felt like that at BronyCon at some points, like the secret agent or the road trip one. Those were the only ones that I was at, the last two. But some fun art came out of those, and yeah, I can't complain too much. So let's go back to looking at Everfree Northwest 2022. I really like this cover, but I'm a sucker for Dawnfire art. I think it's very cute. Oh yeah, Everfree Northwest has one of those non-profit donation things set up for Pegasi Northwest. They're parent company, or whatever you call it. Every time I go to use PayPal, I get a pop-up now, since I used it once to buy Everfree Northwest badges. I get a pop-up, or I get the option to donate money to Everfree Northwest. And I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool idea. If I cared any more about Everfree Northwest, I might have pressed that button once or twice, but I don't care too much. That said, I do personally really enjoy Everfree Northwest. I think they put on a pretty solid con. I didn't enjoy the last one I was at as much, I feel like, but this one, 2022, I had a lot of fun. I feel like their vendor hall is what I like the most. It's freaking huge. Yeah, I think one of the biggest vendor halls in surviving pony conventions, but it is the biggest surviving pony convention as of 2023's convention season. We'll see what happens in 2024. As of recording this is before Mare Fair 2024, and I don't think that'll break. Well, it's before Everfree too, so yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know if it'll shatter records or anything, but I think Mare Fair might get big. And here we've got the surroundings, or the nearby stuff map. This is pretty good. I don't think I noticed this before, but yeah, there's they've got a lot nearby and they've laid it out pretty well. And on the background of these pages, you've just got this confetti pattern. Yeah. That's kind of cool. You got like a symbol in the back. I think Everfree Northwest does a pretty good job with graphic design generally. Which brings me to... Oh, and their logo. Their logo is pretty cool too. I think Everfree Northwest and Mare Fair are like the only ones that really have logos that I think are neat. BabsCon, I guess, has a logo, but I don't know if you can even... I don't know if they even use it anymore. It was like a crest with golden gates in the middle. And from a con with great graphical design, we go right to Ponyville Ciderfest. I am really not a fan of their graphic design. First of all, the logo is kind of atrocious. I kind of hate it. And in the next year, I wasn't there, so I don't have a conbook for it. But it just the logo that they had. I'm not sure what the conbooks look like, but the logo that they had was just kind of just so much text. It was like Ponyville Ciderfest 2023 interactive storytelling narrative adventure whatever. I don't know. This con was kind of fun. It's a smaller con. And, like, you don't have to, you know, I'm not expecting the world out of whatever. But, I mean, if you're going to invest in, like, full page conbooks and with, like, this many pages, why are you just putting a corn picture in the background? And, like, the back is, again, just, like, PNGs slapped on top of whatever. And they don't have a, they do the front and back too, but like, you know, normally that's fine, but this front and back is just so overwhelming and like just so many letters. It's kind of like these two are like totally different ends of the spectrum, where this is like way too much information and this is way too little. I mean, I guess like, yeah, getting the hotel and the theme and the date on there, that's pretty cool. But I mean, like, you know, BabsCon 2024. That's fine. And I mean, I guess, to be fair, we gotta look at the Mare Fair 2023 one through that lens. I mean, this is kind of fluff. Snow Pity Incorporated presents Orlando's first 18 plus only pony convention. But I mean, it's not like it look at the space it takes up compared to this. That's like it's like a fourth of the con book is just text. So yeah, not a big fan of their graphic design. And I think I don't remember much about the inside of this comic book, but I'm sorry. I'm putting out a bunch of opinions here. I hope nobody watches this that's relevant or that gets offended by them, but I just want to ramble. So this one looks like they went with the same kind of background thing. There they have just copy-pasted background. Really simple. Honestly, that's fine. I can't fault them for that. It's still nice. It's still readable. It's got enough color to look nice. But the white spot in the middle is maybe a little too white. I don't know. I mean, it'd look bad as a plain color too. But it's just a white spot in the middle. Like if there's a page with a bunch of text, it's just like 2 white dots right there and there. And again, the thing with like having... It's kind of cool to show that you have so many things going on and so many options of what you can do, but like, you probably don't need this page. Like, you probably only need 1 page for the schedule. This comic book is pretty thick. This one, I haven't started comparing page sizes yet, page counts yet, but this is 30 pages. This is a 30-page comic book. I think even 32, but I'm not gonna care. I don't care enough to count it. But, yeah, like, I mean, all of the, like, tabletop gaming, yeah, maybe, but like, Mario Kart Grand Prix, just have another page where you have like, oh, here are the events going on. You got Mario Kart Grand Prix. and you have hours for registration and all of these. Like, I really don't think that you need to have this all on here, because look at how much they have to like squeeze things in there. I will say that the colored lines here, the alternating colors, help make it a lot easier to tell what time everything's at, especially having the time on the other side too. I think that's pretty good. It probably could have done with a bit more flair than just doing control print on a Microsoft Excel document. Probably could have polished some things up a little bit, maybe. But I mean, it gets the job done. It works well. It's easy to read. I wanted to, let me see what, yeah, like see over here, like to compare it to Everfree Northwest. Theirs is kind of more elegant, more pretty, but like if I want to figure out what time this is at, or like, I don't know, something over here, it's like, you lose track a little bit of, like, I would have to like look at it hard to tell you if VIP bowling starts at 4 or 4:30, or I guess it's 4. It's like, it plays tricks on your eyes, I think. That is the point I'm trying to make. Which is why it's nice to have this on the other side. And the like blocks more than this more flowy design. It's easier on the eyes, but it's harder on the figuring out what's going on. And also, now that I'm looking at it, this is kind of, these probably could have done with some lines in between them. Like, holy crap, what is this? Yeah, now that I look at it, full room arts and crafts. They're like bleeding into each other. Like the arts and crafts is on the full room side. Yeah. Hope someone was fired for that blunder. Well, I guess all of these people were just replaced by one guy. Okay, that makes me curious as to what they did the year after. The same exact thing. It's the same exact thing. It got even worse. Full room arts and crafts. It like doesn't respect the lines beneath it at all. Oh, and they're like not, like Twilight's writing room isn't centered on the column. I mean, I guess like it's hard to get that centered and interacts with so many other things. But like, you know, I can't fault them for reusing stuff. I think staying consistent is cool, you know? I can respect it. Makes the process easier. But not easy enough to not have a large credit on the back of the conbook for putting it together. And then Saturday, like Friday, Saturday, they have it here. Sunday, they have the schedule half size and flipped on its side. It's actually still very readable. And I think that's because it's not quite half size, because it's not as tall, because things end a lot earlier. Oh my goodness. This is atrocious. Look at how pixelated this is. It's like someone just copy-pasted a thumbnail somewhere. That's honestly kind of embarrassing. Like, that's not good. That doesn't look good at all. I lost track of time and it's already been like an hour. And also, sorry if that light over there has been making things hard to read. But yeah, I'll figure it out. Anyway, let's talk about HarmonyCon. So HarmonyCon, pretty standard. Usually go with these half-size booklets. Last year, their conbook was 5 by 9, 6 inches by 9 inches. Oh, 9 1/4. Wait, no, 9. Yeah, 6 inches by 9 inches. HarmonyCon 2020, if I remember, yeah, that was February, so that was right before COVID happened, and there wasn't a HarmonyCon 2021. Well, I don't think there was any con 2021, but 2022 was the first one back. I was trying to figure out if I was missing one. But yeah, let's just go in order of these. So I wasn't at HarmonyCon 2020, but I did. A lot of times conventions will just give away old conbooks because it's like so much stock that they don't have anything for. So yeah, I saw a stack of these at 2022. Or no, maybe it was even later. But yeah, I picked it up and it's in my possession now. And here's a good example of just the two separate pictures, front and back. They've got their two mascots, and color shifting here is kind of, yeah. But yeah, vaporwave kind of thing. And they've got the kind of blocked out schedule. It's in 15-minute blocks. Oh, and over here, oh, okay, so this is kind of nice. They have the times kind of over here at, honestly, seemingly random places. But it helps a bit for telling what's going on at what time, especially when, you know, you have to go through this giant block, the concert thing, to get anywhere. Which is kind of the downside of just having the big concert and then putting the musicians later. Oh, they've got bingo. That's kind of fun. Except it kind of defeats the thing of a... Well, I was going to say defeats the point of a bingo sheet where it's like scattered in different places. But I guess it's reading it, it's all things that you have to do. So that's pretty fun. Be cool if they did like a prize or something for filling this out. But I'm sure that anyone could just lie and ask for it. So I can understand why they wouldn't do that. I do not know about this... about these design choices. The background's fine. It's got the vaporwave thing going on, and that's fine. I like how on this one they added stuff in, and it fits really well with the background on this page. This, you know, the more I'm looking at this conbook, the more it's looking like just blocks of color with blocks of text on top of it. And that looks like a Google search result just dropped onto... Like, I feel like it'd probably take like 2 minutes to recreate this in Photoshop or Illustrator if you knew what you were doing. But it looks like it was just pulled off of something else. But yeah, like some places everything looks really good. Like this concert poster thing, that looks great. But these are hard to read and look weird. The green text on black, the thin green text on black, it's just hard to read, man. I'll be honest, like it's not looking great. Map is kind of cool, but it's that thing where like it's a little too stylish. It's kind of getting hard to read. The text being the same color as the background, but just like different saturation, that doesn't work well. Oh, I was racking my brain trying to figure out how this was the hotel map, but turns out this was the map before I was even, like this was the old venue, the old venue. They've changed venues twice now. Their second venue was pretty neat, but it had a lot of downsides. The third venue kind of feels soulless and downgraded in other ways, but it's a good place for them, I think. There are some fun parts about it. All right, let's go from 2020 to 2022. So this cover's pretty cool. They had Emalu as a special guest. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And she was, you know, fan that became show staff, so that's pretty cool. Even though show she was staff for kind of sucks, but oh well. And you've got a different thing on the front and the back, but they're different artists and different styles, and honestly, this is pretty darn good. Like I think that this kind of sets the standard for, or I don't know about sets the standard, but this is a good benchmark for what a con book like this should look like. I think this is, you know, good looking front, good looking back, works well together. Gotta love the little comic telling you to take your vaccine and get boosted. A little remnant of the times there. This was like the first convention back from COVID, so we were lucky it even happened at all. Yeah, I won't comment anymore on that, but glad that age is past us. Vendor Hall, really simple map. I'm caught between saying it's too simple and saying it looks good. This paper texture, I see what they're going for. It's the right idea, but it doesn't really work well with the text or with this. Like, I probably, if I were doing it, I would have made the text thicker, and given it like an embossed thing or something to make it look a bit more like it was actually part of this paper that it's supposed to be on, and maybe do something with the edges so they're not perfectly square and it doesn't just look like a cropped picture of paper. The map is pretty cool. It's got a little bit of 3D-ness to it. Probably not really necessary, and the text is really small over here, but it works well. It looks good. Actually, looking at it more, it doesn't really look like anything. Like I feel like there's too much. I don't know. It's weird. Like atrium. And if you went to any of the conventions at this venue, you know the atrium well. And I don't think that really communicates well what the atrium looks like. And it seems like it's missing stuff down here too. Another reason that this venue was kind of a nightmare was these elevators. If you look carefully, you'll notice maybe that there's no way to go from the first floor to the second floor, where there are all these rooms and stuff, except for the elevators. There's the stairwell over here, but that's just an emergency stairwell. You can't actually use that. And so everybody trying to go to the second floor was competing with everyone trying to use the elevators to get to their rooms and stuff. And it just didn't work out. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, can't really complain. I think I like this approach. I can understand why people wouldn't want to do it. But I like this approach for the concert, where the each part is laid out, if only because it makes everything else clearer to read, easier to read. I think the 15-minute time blocks is a little unnecessary. I would have said that 30-minute time blocks would have been fine, but I guess they do have stuff starting on the quarter hour. So, yeah, I don't know. This is a good concert poster. I like that. That's stylish. They do a good job at those. If I remember right, HarmonyCon 2020 was their first con, so this would have been their first con book. So I think that they have learned a bit from this. It does look better. It's still not perfect, but maybe we'll get there. I like these ad pages that fit the theme. They have some like bogus ads in here just to kind of make the theme look a bit better. They got some vendors in on it. Oh, and they've got a comic down here too. Star, what are you doing? Helping Clauston pick out a new hat. Pick out a new hat. He's just a crab. And then he's crying. Okay. Where's the joke? They've got like world building lore in these little news things. Yeah, and then these are all bogus ads. That's pretty cool, I guess. Winnie City doing their thing of being really bad at graphic design. That does not use the space very well. It's a cool drawing, I'll give them that much. But the text doesn't really fit the theme, and it's not... It doesn't look good. I don't know. Oh, Sequestria Fest. They couldn't let Ponyville Ciderfest and Winnie City get away with the worst graphic design award, not without competition. Everfree Northwest just copy pasting their postcard onto here. I have that postcard around here, but it's just exactly that. I'm not gonna dig it out right now. They've got the bingo again, but a bit smaller. It's pretty good. And they've got the low resolution logo. Like when we almost had this with Fallen Oak. Because Fallen Oak, so I can understand that. Like, charities have more priorities than making sure that they have a flashy logo. But you know, when we were going to put this in, We pulled it into Photoshop and cleaned it up a bit. Tried to get it actually black and white since it was all over the place. It was just like a picture that they had on their Facebook forever ago. And it's not perfect, but polished it up a little bit. I just noticed that that doesn't look great. It's really close to the text. And here they've got their staff. I've kind of been glancing over this, but yeah, on the discussion of like whether to list staff or not. They have, and here they're crediting some more people. The people cosplaying the convention mascots, Weeds and Bold and everyone else. I remember this being, looking through this and it being an example of what people didn't, and what people on staff didn't want to do. Like they thought, I'm not saying my opinion right now, but people on Mare Fair staff thought that this was self-indulgent, listing the staff and everything. And that's why it was kind of a huge discussion, and why the staff page is just a general thank you page for staff and supporters instead of listing each staff member in their department. I'm really hoping that this light doesn't make it impossible to read anything. All right, let's move on to HarmonyCon 2023. So 2023, they're kind of going for like a what do you call it? Tabloid magazine cover thing. I kind of get it, but I'm really not a fan. Again, that's a lot of text. That's just unnecessary. And it's not even like information. Like, okay, again, we got to be fair, and we got to bring out the Mare Fair book and look at all the text there. And this text is scattered all over the place. And I mean, I guess you can't say it's not important because it's like part of the theme, but it also like it doesn't quite look right. It looks just like text slapped onto it. It doesn't really look like what a magazine would look like. I don't know, maybe I don't look at magazines enough, but not really attention grabbing, I would say. Oh, and then on the back they have a fun little quiz for which mascot are you. That's kind of neat. That's fun. So yeah, a good use of a back. I think I prefer the good-looking backs a bit more. I think that I don't think you can really beat this one. I think this is a pretty good back to a con book. But yeah, let's open it up and see how they did. So already it's a lot easier to read. However, a small nitpick that's really bugging me is everything, all of these boxes, the text is center aligned. And it's not justified or anything, so it ends at various spaces. It gets really, really close to the edges at points. I don't think it looks good at all. I think it could have been justified, or it could have been left aligned. I don't think that's really an issue. But I mean, like, if you really want to go for that look, justify it. Have everything, have the edges stay on the same thing. It's that like last option in Microsoft Word, which you probably use to put this together. I'm sorry, they're using the same map from last year, but they have it decorated a bit differently. And here they have actually highlighted how to get to the second floor. That's a big upgrade because I guarantee you a lot of people that first year, myself included, never made it to that second floor because we had no idea that it even existed. Like, I think I heard about something on the mezzanine and I'm like, what's that? Or I didn't even look or something. I don't know. It was not very clear. Here it was a little bit more clear, but I mean, like, again, that's a fault of the hotel. I can't really fault the con for that, but good on you for making a big circle and 2 mezzanines. That's good. I'm kind of confused with this because it's like on the outside it's a magazine, but you open it up and it's like, oh, we're so random, and then most of the pages? Oh no. Oh, okay. So they've got a lot of different things going on for all of the pages. Something funny that I want to point out really quick. Every theme, or almost every theme that's been floated around for Mare Fair themes is usually something that HarmonyCon has done at one point or another, or come close to at least. Like there was an idea of like old internet stuff, and here you got Bonzo Buddy and it's a Colt Shell and the Skype kind of font. You got Clippy and the Apple Post-its. I think this looks really funny. The 13 inside of the number 4. Still going with the 15-minute schedules, and I mean, you can see a consequence of that is this is 2 pages of the same rooms. That you have to fill up 2 pages with that. But again, this is a half-size conbook, so you can't fault them too much. It's easy to read, and you can kind of use the ones on this page to figure out what time they are if they're too far from there. It's good. It's good. Nothing wrong with it. It's easy to read. Mixed feelings about this looking at it now. Again, same problem that I was having before. Some of this text gets really close to the edges, particularly the bottoms on this page. It looks like everything is right justified, so at least they got that right. Or wait, it's like justified, or it's aligned towards the center. No, right aligned. I'm sorry, I'm getting all my words mixed up. But yeah, it's towards the center, so on the right, it's, yeah. That looks better. That looks good. You can read things and find things. This is kind of neat. The one thing that I noticed that it seems like I kind of really dig for this comic book there are several different page backgrounds. And it looks really neat. It's a pretty cool effect. But it's a lot of effort, and you can't expect Evercon to do that, because it is effort that will, for the most part, go unnoticed, probably. I mean, I guess almost any effort put into the con book you can chalk up to effort that might go unnoticed. And they upgraded the resolution for the charity picture. You'll love to see it. That's good. And here they've got the staff page, and it looks like they've just separated the leads from everyone else. It didn't say who the lead was, or like they don't have it labeled anywhere that, oh, this person is the lead, but I think that's probably for the better. Like, you can tell what's going on, I think. I don't know. I don't think there's anything really bad in taking credit for your work, but I think there are, I think you can go overboard, like putting when you're making the comic book and you put the credit for yourself on the back of the page. I don't know. All right, so HarmonyCon 2024. Like I said before, they went with a different size. I think because they really wanted to do the composition book thing, and it looks cute enough. They've got like these stickers on here. I kind of wonder if we will see these again later on, like if it's just copy-pasted artwork or assets that they used in a bunch of different places. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but when it's too noticeable, it's too noticeable. Sometimes I get a little whiplash looking at like, oh yeah, these are the same character? Who's that? Is that him? Yeah, like, what? I don't even know, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think HarmonyCon's mascots, I don't really care about them at all. But yeah, anyway, looking at the back, very plain back. It's kind of, it's just to sell the theme. Although, if you're putting so many stickers on the front, I don't see why you wouldn't put like you on the back. I don't know. They've got the credits on the back here. It's the only thing on the back. I feel like that's okay though. For some reason, that doesn't seem as bad to me as Everfree Northwest putting big credits up there. I don't know. I mean, Everfree Northwest has probably been doing that for a while. But yeah, and there they got the more homage to the composition book thing. It says how many pages it is. 40 pages. Wow, that's a lot. And yeah, sure enough, first thing I opened to reused Clostin or whoever. Yeah, whatever. We'll I mean, it's the sticker theme. Whatever. This table of contents doesn't really seem right. Like, it doesn't look like it fits the theme. The font's like fancy compared to the, I guess I haven't done anything yet, but like the handwritten kind of thing that they're going for everywhere else. Because it's supposed to be like a booklet, you know, like a composition book. And on the back they put the... I would let it pass if the back was the same kind of thing, but like they put the paper picture on the back. Oh man, come on guys, you used a low resolution picture for your charity again. Man, and this staff page, it does not look good. The thing that bothers me the most, I think, is that it's going over the line that you're supposed to start at. That's terrible. And actually, kind of, I guess we're kind of going backwards, but I think they do that a lot, probably, and it doesn't look good. Yeah, if you're going to do the composition book, stick to the format, I think. And these boxes being semi-transparent, it's like that red line doesn't look good going through them. And the blue lines too, it's kind of distracting. And then the full page ads are kind of just slapped in as like, you know, put it in, rotate a little, put some drop shadow. Drop shadow doesn't even, like it's floating out of there. Like, I don't think that looks good. Well, if anything, the lines at least come a little bit in handy here to let you see what time things are, generally. But still, I'm starting to think that I never even really used this conbook while I was at the con, because I do not remember how much I don't like this. Or maybe I just wasn't thinking about it. Maybe most people don't really think about conbooks. I know I definitely didn't until I started having the job of making them. Ooh. This crunchy, low-resolution stuff. That doesn't look good. Like, I think you could make it look good if you leaned into it, but like, holy cow. Looking at it more, I was thinking like, okay, maybe that's just a hotel floor plan that they got and it's not the right size or something. But like, they've got all of the text that they put in there is terrible. Like, they did it at like tiny size. This is also pretty low res, but it's a bit more forgivable than that. And of all things, the FedEx logo looks so clear compared to everything. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look great, but it doesn't look, well, that looks bad. That line right there. These little drawings are cute, and cool of the art team. Oh, I guess it was Koa. Yeah, that makes sense. Koa would know all of them, and Koa would, I'm pretty sure Koa was the music lead. Yeah, Koa concert lead. So her being an artist, that works pretty well. It was really cute. I feel like has potential that it didn't quite live up to, but it's fine. Again, I gotta complain about the big line going through everywhere. Big red line. Well, 2 + 2 = fish. I don't know. It's like they wanted to do a theme so bad, and then they forgot to stick to it. They didn't really commit one way or the other. Like, oh, trying to make it look good, but also trying to, yeah, whatever. One thing, I'm glad that we don't have guests at Mare Fair, because it's so much text. Look at all this text. It's like, who really cares? But I mean, to be fair, half the time, you know, literally who? So you gotta have that text to tell you, to give you a hint at least. Oh my goodness, this is like longer than anyone cares about. So the TLDR is he made music for G5, and like you could have just put that. Like I feel like with all of these, you could have just had a tiny like blurb underneath. Even if you have this big long thing for guests, you can just have a tiny blurb like, you know, G5 musician. Then you can have all of this too. But like some special guests is like they're trying to sell themselves with all this big things, but when they just did like one minor character one time, you know, just like stick to like how is it relevant to Pony? Like, why should I care about this person? Okay, this is kind of cool. They've got like little doodles in here for the terms, the code of conduct. That's kind of neat. But yeah, going through it backwards, it kind of feels like they lost a feel for the theme pretty quick. And by theme, I just mean the theme for the Conbook. And again, they did a decent job with the concert poster, but they're doing an injustice to it by tilting it, adding drop shadow, and why not just make this its own page? Like, you care that much about the theme here, but you don't care about it right next to it when there's a big red line going through everything? I don't know. I think they kind of fell off with this one. Not my favorite Conbook. I think that this is probably... I mean, it had its issues, but they did pretty good with this one. And maybe I'm just judging a Conbook by its cover. All right, let's talk really quickly about UK PonyCon and GalaCon. Now, I wasn't at either of these conventions. I hope I can make it to GalaCon one day, but they just had tables at another convention, and you know, you always have leftover Conbooks, so they were giving these away at their tables at I think it was last BabsCon 2024, and yeah, I just picked these up because why not? Let's look at the cover for UK PonyCon. It's good. They've got the two things going on, but like it's the same picture. Like, you see, they just used it again. I think that kind of takes away from it a lot. I think if you could have just like stretched it out a bit, even if you like cropped it differently, it would have looked great. The pony on the front is pretty cute though. That's a cute mascot. And yeah, they've got information on the back. That's fine, you know. Back is a good place to put just information. I'm pretty sure that the history of UK PonyCon, it's more for older generations, and then they just kind of added new stuff in too. So they have this kind of generational thing at the top of the schedule. Actually, it's at the top of every page. Okay, but that is pretty neat. Generation. Oof. I want to say 1, 2, and 3, even though that might not be 2. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rainbow Road Trip and movie style, and then G5. But like, thank goodness it's like the drawn like Emalu style and not a freaking Netflix series 2D awful looking thing. But yeah, this is a thick book, but I don't think it's because, oh well, actually it has like 44 pages. So yeah, it does have a lot of pages, but it's also really sturdy material. Like, this is like almost plastic, the cover. Yeah, I don't know the right names for paperweights and everything, like 100-pound or whatever. But yeah, anyway, very nice material. Feeling all my other Conbooks, it feels like this has the thickest cover out of them. It's a nice map for the stalls. They've got like random fan art. I'm not really sure what this is doing here. And the SpongeBob font, which is kind of weird. I can understand having fan art or art of mascots, but that's just a Generation 5 character. Something weird's going on with that lower body. Yeah, this one's got a lot of fan art, a lot of full page ads. So that's probably good enough. Oh, right. So, UK PonyCon, is mostly like a vendor thing, but it's a lot of like older generation, like selling and trading old generation things. If I'm right, I don't know anything about UK PonyCon, but I think that's why there's such a focus on all of the vendors. In fact, I kind of doubt there's a schedule at all. Oh, well, we started the schedule, so. Okay, so it looks like they are kind of a standard convention, but like with how many, like they have vendor descriptions here instead of just doing vendors, or, you know, a list of their names. So yeah, they do have some more emphasis on vendors. And here, the rest of the book, I think, is all of the panels or events. This, is it just a 2-day con? Yeah, it is. It's just Saturday and Sunday. The SpongeBob font is kind of throwing me off for all the fan art. I swear that's the SpongeBob font. That's a very cursed logo. Furry and Brony. No, thank you. I feel like this map is a little hard to read, but I kind of get the impression that it might be because the venue is weird. Oh, and their charity is horse related. It's riding for the disabled. So horses and autism, can't get better than that. All right, let's breeze through GalaCon really quick. I don't know about this cover. Seems like weirdly simple. Oh, and there's all my Mare Fair, or all the stuff I got from that convention. From BabsCon. So you've got the whole room in here. You've got the checklist. Make sure that you stay hydrated and take a shower. I feel like some of these are memes that I'm not 100% in on because I don't go to GalaCon. This numbering system is kind of odd. The vendors. Oh yeah, and they have their vendors scattered all over the venue. Main hall, panel room. Do they only have 2 rooms? Okay, so one thing that I haven't talked about that just flipping through this, I think GalaCon does really well, is page ordering. You want the most important or most accessed pages to be the easiest to get to. So right away, just opening this, you already have your convention schedule, and it's only 2 days, so all of the events are right here. That's pretty cool. And then after that, they have the table of contents. That's pretty cool, because like 90% of the time when you go to the convention, or let's say 40% of the time when you go to the Conbook, this is what you're looking for. And then the other 40%, or another 40% of the time, you're looking for the map, which is on the last 2 pages. And then other times, cons will put something important right in the middle. This time it's the vendors. So it's the vendors and the vendor map. So it's zoom in. It's a zoom in of that. But yeah, not much to say about this Conbook, but it looks pretty good. And yeah, kudos to GalaCon. It looks like they alternate between backgrounds. I don't know if all of these pages are necessary. Rules of Buckball. It does seem a little simple at points. They've got some good stuff in here. This is kind of cute, this full page ad for a Maid and Butler Cafe. And then there's another ad right here for Make-A-Wish, which is their charity. Oh, and they've got the whole page. This is actually pretty good, I think. Yeah, this is a really good 2-page sprawl for their charity. See it like connects there. And this looks like it was professionally done by someone at Make-A-Wish. That's pretty cool. And adding that message in there too, if they did do that, that might be the best part of the Conbook, honestly. This looks like a badge for GalaCon for the year before. I guess they were just handing these out. Interesting, because it doesn't seem like you wear it. It seems like it's just like a ticket for entry. And so yeah, talking about the page ordering thing, we tried doing that with Mare Fair, but the thing was, well, we were only going to print like, we only ended up printing like some of these later on. It wasn't like an official printed Conbook. So we tried keeping that page order in mind, but in thinking of a digital Conbook. So like scrolling, you know, you'd want the most important things at the beginning. So, you know, putting the con ground map, so you would only have to scroll like 2 pages to get to it. And then the vendors, the concert, and the schedule. I'm starting to realize that this video is going to be like an hour long. But yeah, let's talk about BronyCon to wrap this up. I was only at the last 2 BronyCons, BronyCon 2018 and 2019. But, you know, I think it's pretty safe to say that they had things pretty figured out by the time they hit this point. So going to BronyCon, going to 2018, you can see, first thing that you notice is their events are on a separate sheet of paper that's printed out and folded into the Conbook, along with, you know, the locations of everything. And they had tons of rooms that everything was going on in. So they laid it out kind of in a rotated way from everything. And here I have I have things starred that I was going to. You can judge me for that. I had to leave halfway through Saturday. I wasn't able to stay for Sunday. This was the first convention I had ever gone to, and I learned a lot from it. One of them was to bring more than $50 for the vendor hall, because that buys you like one thing, if even that. Like basically, you just got to plan to. You just got to kind of give yourself a blank check for the vendor hall, because it's otherwise you're not gonna have a good time. Or okay, maybe I don't know. I'm normally a pretty frugal guy, but whenever I see something pony, I buy it, because I don't see it often. When I go into a vendor hall, I don't really get rid of that rule, so I spend a lot at the vendor hall. But yeah, anyway, lessons learned. Staying for Sunday is another lesson I learned. Not showing up on Friday is another thing, but I think I actually got there the day before. But I was staying in a hotel. I was staying in a hotel outside of the city because I wanted to save as much money as possible. And it's not the way to do it. I had to commute every day. I didn't have a place to drop my stuff off, so I was carrying this huge backpack around. I was parked, like I had to worry about parking and stuff. But yeah, anyway, tangent, but pretty good map. A good idea to have an insert. They had a road trip theme, so the map is supposed to be like a national park kind of thing. That's kind of cute. I like that. I think they did pretty good. And another benefit of the insert, apart from it being easier to take out and check than the whole con book, is it's a lot easier to change it and order it last minute, I'd imagine. Since these just need printed out, Conbooks need a bit more lead time to prepare it and staple it and make sure everything's good. And yeah, looking at the cover, just want to point out one little fun fact that I had learned. So these are the 3 mascots. I'm not going to pretend to remember their names. And here is a 4th mascot that they have. It was a secret mascot that not many people knew about, but he was there, a bat pony that they had like plushies for at one point, but like nobody bought them because no one even knew he was a mascot. Yeah, I forget his name and everything that I heard about him, but yeah, it's another mascot. Oh, and there they have the convention center map in there too, kind of laid out differently, more like a national park pamphlet. This is more like a map. That's some good attention to detail, where they could have probably gotten away with reusing stuff. I mean, they still reuse like the background and stuff, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And they also have the logo. That's another convention with a logo, but they kind of swapped it up, changed it up a lot every year. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. This is beautiful. This is really pretty. Yeah, I think this is kind of the bar that's set for con books. At least the ones that I have and the ones that I've seen. Yeah, like look at this. Writer, voice actor, voice actress. Okay, well, okay, maybe that's not exactly what I'm asking for. Like, you know, voice actor for... Which character? Well, it's Bill Newton. So he was, I'm blanking. Was it the guy, Applejack's grandpa? I don't know. Oh yeah, anyway. Yeah, it's like, Lena Hall, look at how far you have to read to figure out, oh, Countess Coloratura. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not used to guests or worrying about guests or thinking about guests. Oh, there's the autographs policy. And they've got some, like, different designs for different pages, too. They've got a lot of art going on. I wonder if we'll see how big their art team was. Because there's a lot. I really like this first page, this credits thing. I think maybe you could have had that fit the sign a bit better, but that's fine. That's fine. And just kind of looking over this in general, it just feels really professional. Like, it looks like the Make-A-Wish page on the GalaCon book. It's just all laid out like it feels like a professional put this together. That's a great great concert poster. They have all these like activities and things. And then, oh yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, you know, you open it up. A lot of places that think about it, they'll put the convention center map or something else important right in the middle. Like I mentioned before, Mare Fair doesn't do that. We didn't do that last year. Just opens to like the Saturday schedule because I decided it would be better to plan it around scrolling on a phone instead. So, you know, you'd see the con grounds, the map, and vendors first. But then if you actually did have the con book in person, then right at the end would be the, you know, the map and stuff. Whereas if you had it on your phone, it'd probably be quicker and easier just to pull up the map app on your phone, you know. And look at this staff list. Wow. You kind of forget how big of an operation that BronyCon was, even though this convention, I think, was lower attended than normal, the 2018 one. Another thing that's interesting looking at all of this is how different conventions can be with their departments, how they lay things out. Like they have a whole photography department, they have a marketplace department, where Mare Fair has a vendors relations department. And my scope is limited because I only know how Mare Fair does stuff because I've only volunteered for Mare Fair. But yeah, they've got a pretty sizable design team. And I mean, they did a great job with the con book, and I remember liking their signage too. And we end on these 2 pages. Again, I really like this. I think they partnered kind of with the city of Baltimore. Yeah, they've got this whole map. This might be a little zoomed out, I guess, comparing it to the other ones where it would show restaurants nearby and stuff. But there's honestly not that much nearby except for the Jimmy John's. That's like kind of almost part of the convention center anyway. I ate so much at that Jimmy John's at the at this convention. I can't remember what I ate. I might not have even eaten anything except for the hotel breakfast. But 2019, I had Jimmy John's for every meal, and I would just like swap it out every now, you know, like every now and again to get the vegetarian one. I got kind of fond of Jimmy John's. They also played like pony music over the loudspeakers in the restaurant, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, there's no, or they don't have the schedule in the book, like not a schedule like this, but they do have all of the events. And here they have the arcade schedule, all the events there. Kind of similar to what I was saying before. Do they have it listed here? I don't think so. Baltimore Arcade. No, they don't. Yeah. So instead of adding another row to this and having to squeeze everything or sacrifice space on the bottom, They just have this. And for other rooms, instead of having a long bar of like, this is when it's open, they just have the hours right here. And that's great. That's perfectly fine. I think that's how every convention should do it. I think BronyCon sets a pretty good example of how to do stuff. But yeah, that's a pretty good con book. Let's look at 2019 to close us off. So 2019, they were going with the spy theme. I think the idea of like an ARG and stuff is pretty cool, and I might have gotten more into it now, but I feel like at this convention it kind of got in the way. And also with it being the last convention, it was like it kind of felt like, oh, the end of it was supposed to be like, oh, you got free tickets for the next convention, or something is gonna happen for next year, and then, oh nope, this was the last year. But like we went into it knowing it was the last year. Oh, I guess I bought that. Well, I haven't seen that in 5 years. So it feels like this has more pages than the last book. It might just be 40 pages in the last one. So it might have like 4 more pages. Oh man, that's sad. So yeah, not a huge fan of the theme for this year, but this is a cool cover for a con book. And I do like the idea of a con ARG. That is pretty cool. You can kind of tell that like the artist did all of this stuff and then someone went in later and added the ARG elements. Not that there's a problem with that, but kind of funny. So yeah, still looking really cool. I think I preferred last year's stuff, last year's layout and stuff, but still really professional design. You know, looks great, I think. And they've got like a cipher right there. Stuff. Oh wait, that's not a cipher. That's just all the letters of the alphabet. Okay, that's kind of a cool map. The spy thing. I'm not sure why they didn't put it in the centerfold though. It's like 2 pages away. This is a pretty cool poster. I have this on. I got this as a poster and it was hanging on my wall for a long time. But honestly, looking at it now, I don't know if it's great. Some parts of it are really weird, like how stretched some letters are for no reason. I think the 2018 concert was a little better. I just remember Michelle Creeper took up way too much time. Let's take a look at the... Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we'll look at the map really quick. Okay, so it's like white. Yeah, I don't think that the black would have looked as good on here. Also would have been a lot of ink. And they have a QR code to the guide too. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure. I don't think I ever used that, but might have been good. Here you can judge me for all the things I circled and stuff. I was extremely disappointed by this panel, the TF2 Analysis Anarchy. I thought that this would be like actually talking about TF2 and ponies, but no, it's just some like weird, stupid. I don't even know. It's dumb. I hated it. I think I left early even. I don't think I really have much to talk about here with the panels. I was dumb in the past. I prioritized panels. These days, I've grown to focus more on hanging out with friends, and that's a lot more enjoyable of a con for me. That's the best part of conventions for me, hanging out with people and seeing people in real life. But back then I was friendless and just kind of trying to enjoy it. And so yeah, you'll see here like there are little ciphers throughout the con book, and I think little clues that you had to decode, and then go to staff members and do some more things. It was like a whole game that like a few people got really into, but I think most people were just like, okay, yeah. And there's the game room schedule again. Again, like it's just better to have it a separate thing than like treat it like a panel. I think this works really well. I don't really love the theme so much. I guess I've said that before, but like you can kind of see here, it's kind of just like, ooh, it's just highlights. Like it's a highlighter. I don't know. Like, also something that kind of bothers me are tabletop game things being treated like panels and just being all over the place. It kind of just adds a lot of clutter, but I'm not into tabletop games at all for conventions. I don't know, I just don't have the attention span for that. So, you know, take what I say with a grain of salt, but it feels like a lot of clutter. Like, especially when you consider, like, a lot of these panel rooms will hold or host or accommodate, like, hundreds of people, or like 100 people, or hundreds even. But like, how many? I mean, there are multiple tables and stuff, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, Tony Fleeks or Flex or however you say his name did the cover art. I was trying to earlier figure out who AMF was. Yeah, it's Tony. I think there was another con book that had his signature on it. No, I must be thinking of the other BronyCon one, which, yeah, is also definitely Tony. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, this, I don't know if they had to use more pages for panels and stuff, but it seems like this con book just has a lot less going on than the one from the year before. And then there's the marketplace right at the back. Yeah, it kind of feels like it's just random stuff, code of conduct, like just code of conduct basically, and then special guests, and then like 2 things, and then just events for the rest of the thing. And it was a 10,000 person convention, so they did have a lot of events, but like, I don't know. I think I might have to dock points here for all the numbers being sideways. I don't really see the necessity in that. I mean, if I remember right, you would enter the vendor hall through here. So why isn't it just this the bottom? I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It just, I like looking at it. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, why couldn't this have been rotated to fit the paper it was on, and to fit like where you would be walking into it from? Actually, maybe I'm misremembering. No, I'm not. Did we walk in from here or there? Hold on, let me get the map out. Okay, yeah, so Harmony Plaza, yeah. So going into the, and there was like, a lot of the time there was a big line going into it. So, yeah, going into it. Why would it not even be okay, so it's oriented the same as the map. To like zoom in as the map. I guess that kind of makes sense. But like, again, I really would have just oriented it from your entrance point, you know? I think that would make it easy to read. I mean, it's easy to read now, but it's like, okay, if I want to find vendor 220, okay, I'd turn it and I look for, am I blind? Oh, 220. Well, that's kind of weird. Oh, I guess they number the aisles instead of rows. I'm sure easier to look at, but, or when you're there, but harder to work out how the map works. I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking. I don't think that this conbook is as good. That's kind of cute, but I mean, like, compared to the last page of the year before, this just looks better, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Probably still better than most other conbooks, but I think that 2018 had 2019 beat as far as conbooks go. I was thinking about trying to rank all of these. I think there are just so many variables that it'd be hard to do it, but yeah, I didn't realize until looking through it here for this video that the BronyCon conbooks are really nice. I kind of wish there was a website that had these properly archived that was easy to search through. When I was looking for inspiration for badges, and I'll go through the badges in another video that'll be significantly shorter. I couldn't find anywhere that had them because, you know, people don't take pictures of their badge and upload it to Borus or anything. But yeah, same with Conbooks. Like, maybe, I think there's some archive out there, but I don't know about it, or I haven't seen it, or it's not complete, or the people running it disappear all the time. BronyCon, good conbook. Ponyville Ciderfest, ugly conbook, but functional. Like, it works fine. I don't think there are really any bad conbooks that I've gone over necessarily. I think worst conbook that I've looked at would probably have to be HarmonyCon 2024. Look at that, man. What's their centerfold? Great, the Friday's schedule and events. Oh no, that's okay. To be fair, that's a pretty good landing point, I think. And then I think the vendor hall map is right before then, and then the actual map. So okay, so yeah, middle of the conbook, not too hard to find what you're looking for. But yeah, look at this, like the text interfering with the line, that just doesn't look good. You know, like, just like bring it in a little bit. I don't know what this year's conbook will look like for Mare Fair. Well, I do know, kind of, but you know, trying to take lessons and move forward and learn, and it won't be a BronyCon until some graphic designers come out of the woodwork. The few that we have are kind of worked to death, I think, or busy with other stuff. You can also kind of tell that this crowd was blown up. I don't know how to end this. Thanks for watching. I think this took like 2 hours to record this video. Hopefully it gets trimmed down to less than that. But yeah, I was gonna film a bee update today, but it started raining, and bees don't really like it when you take the roof off their house and let rain in while they're just trying to live and be. But yeah, lots of work to do on the hive there. Let me grab Bee Twilight. So next time next video you'll see is a bee update, or maybe it'll be the last video, and maybe I'll dread editing this enough that that'll come first. But you know, want a balance of pony related, and I just really like making bee videos because I like talking about bees. Thanks for watching. Bee videos in the future, but also more collection videos, maybe. I don't have that much stuff to talk about, but I do like rambling on, so you might see a few of these. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see ya. Bye. But you know, probably the worst thing that you could do in a con book is put your own con name in low resolution. Like, you just copy paste this and put it there. It's basically like, why is that so low resolution?